about uh, the basic purpose or the need of the Garuda Commandos, right? So, by keeping in mind the protection of the air bases, right, of Indian Air Force, uh, they have established. So, while doing that particular kind of job or that particular kind of task, you can see some of the Garuda Commandos, right, in at one of the air bases you can consider it, right. So here you can have these pictures, right. Also, uh, you have to be, as I said, you have to find out the hostile points, right. You have to always uh, consider. So you will be always trained for any kind of or every kind of, okay, for every kind of situation, right. So you are always trained in every situation, for every situation, right. So here the question comes in, how the Garuda selection process gets started, right. So always keep in mind, very best thing, very first thing here is, it is not a volunteer position or volunteer job, right. As like Marcos or para commandos, both are volunteer, so you have to voluntarily take part in the selection process of Marcos or in the paras. But as far as Garuda is concerned, you are not volunteer, right. Rather, it is having a direct recruitment, right. So the Garuda personnel are enlisted as airmen within the Indian Air Force mostly, right. That doesn't mean the officers cannot be part of it. Yes, you can, right. But uh, there is always a direct recruitment of Garuds, right, which is done through the airman selection centers, right. So advertisement, direct advertisement, where advertisements are there at the airman selection centers, right. You might be aware about the as like officers, as we have gone, right. As like officers, there are different entries called ground entries, technical entries, right. So among these, you will be considering these airmen, right. So uh, and once you entered as airman in Indian Air Force, then again there is advertised within that, right, for Garud Commandos, right. So you have to again go for the selection process, that particular, in that particular case, right. So it is always keep in mind, it is not a volunteer post or the volunteer job, rather it is a direct recruitment we can consider in, right. Since it is direct recruitment, it has one very good kind of it's what we can consider, it has one facility. Once you are Garuda, you are always Garuda, right. Fine. Anyway, so uh, here one more thing is that, as a yeoman, you will be having only one chance to become Garuda training, right. If you miss it, you will not be allowing again. The case is not happening in the uh, paras, right. So you may get next chance after 6 months, right. Twice in a year you will be always getting chance for paras, right. Again in the Marcos, you may get in the next round or in the next slot second chance, but here only once, right. If you could get through, then you will get through, otherwise you will not be considered, you will not be having a an opportunity to become Garuda, right. Then once training is completed, after completion of training, you will be absorbed into commando force, and you will be always retained throughout your career in the Garuda, right. So that's why I said, if you are once Garuda, you are always Garuda, right. So the year or your service doesn't matter, right. That you have served for so many years, for these many years, and now you are getting aged, so you will be expelled out of this Garuda, or you will be sent back to your original unit or regiment. No, right. So you will be always, and that is the purpose, right. As I said, why Indian Air Force thought to have its own special force, right. So that they should reduce out or absolute the retraining of each of the transferred paras, right, from Navy, Army, right. So here this is the beauty of this particular special force. Once you are always there, right, throughout your career. Fine. So these are some of the things you can consider in, right. Now, what kind of operations have been taken by Garudas, right? You can consider. So Garudas uh, have taken part in different kinds of operations, right? So here I have written the operations, and you can see some of the equipments, right? So these modern equipments are having their own significances, right? They are specialized weapons you can consider it, right? They are having their own names. Fine. Probably that we will be considering some other session, right? When we will be going for some kinds of tanks, some kinds of aircrafts, some kinds of modern guns, or some kinds of modern combat equipments, right? So at that it may be considered. Since you should get orientation, for that purpose I have just placed them here. Fine. So operations. Let's go to the operations. Currently, the operation going on, right, in a Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, right. So in that particular country, right, you can consider. So United Nations organization is trying to stabilize. Right, so stabilization mission in Democratic Republic of Congo, right. UN is having, United Nations is having Shanti Sena. So our uh, army is taking part in that. So this is another mission by UN. So herein again, our India's one of the armed forces is contributing, right. So in this particular case, currently Garuda commandos are giving their services. Fine. That is for the purpose of stabilization mission in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right. So here you can see the justice packs and travel, right. Don't worry about these things. I have just put it as a purpose of some kind of representation of that particular country. So it is representation for their armies. Obviously they must be having certain functions, right. Though we don't know their meaning, right, you should not worry about it. So here you can see MONUSCO. So here again I have written MONUC, and here you cannot see such kind of abbreviation. So MONUC is a short form of the word, short form of the operation, which I have written here in English, right. So that whenever you will be you will be transferring it into the French, right. So it will get converted into different words, and from that French words, the acronym MONUC has been emerged. Or you can consider sometimes Monaco, right? Monicongo, right? So that would be the case. Or you can simply consider Monuc, right? So don't get confused with the English name and its abbreviation, right? So abbreviation is from the letters in the or its title in the French, fine. So that is of the Monuc, which is ongoing operation, right? See, this has been ongoing from since 2000, I think, 2 or 99, basically, right? So from that many years, I will tell you one part of this. In this MONUC operation, right, as far as India's contribution, right, Indian Armed Forces is concerned, right, currently Garudas are giving their services, but overall our Indian Armed Forces, so more than 3,800 personnel from Indian Armed Forces have served for this particular operation. It is the world's largest, right? And you will not believe that who is the second in stabilizing this mission, right? Who is contributing second large in this after India? India would be the first one. It is Bangladesh. So Bangladesh armed forces personnel more than around 2,800, right? Around 3,000 personnel have given their services for stabilization of the operation in the Congo, right? The particularly Democratic Republic of Congo, right? So that you can consider it. Then next one is the recently happened what you can consider recently happened attack, right? So Pathankot air base attack, right? So at Pathankot air base attack, probably 6-7 militants have come in the dresses of Indian armed forces and try to destroy Pathankot air base, right? They have killed what we can consider some of the our armed forces person, right? So whatever I think you see at the beginning of what you can consider at the beginning of Uri, right? So that is the scene of Pathankot air base, right? Or you can consider, right? And then we have, I think, gone for the surgical strike, right? So here the purpose is purpose of putting this one. So Garud Commando Guru Sevak Singh, right, is the first Garud Commando who had died to the bullets of enemy, right? Bullets of enemy. So till then, see, from 2004 to 2016, no of the Garuda commandos have lost his life against such kinds of attacks or such kinds of operations, right? You can consider it. Fine. But unfortunately, in Pathankot air attack, Gursevak Singh had lost his life. Fine. And since it is alone, right, uh, you can easily remember his name. It is important because there may be possibility that the question can be asked on this particular point. Fine. And next. The next operation in which in fact it is not a fighting kind of operation, right? See, every time operation doesn't mean war, right? It may be a natural calamity, right? It may be rescuing let's say citizens, right? It may be preserving some kinds of key environmental factors, right, for a short while duration. Likewise, so it is a show, right, you can consider. So security, yes, security during this operation. So Euro India is the what we can consider. Euro India is a kind of international show by the Indian Air Force, right? Particularly, it uh, what we can consider get organized on the day of Indian Air Force, right? Where most of the different troops or regiments show their exercises, or sometimes you can have joint exercises on that occasion from other countries here, what we can consider air force, right? Other countries air force. So here you can consider the Aero India International Show, right? So it happens biannually, right? So every alternative year it get organized, right? So recently it had happened in 2019. Now it will be organized in the next year, that is in 2021, right? So 2021 you will be finding out that particular. Fine. So every year they are always having a slogan. So in 2009 they were the 19 they had a slogan as celebrating women in aviation, right? Right, celebrating women in aviation. So these are some of the things you have to again keep in mind, right? So this is your task to remember this particular, right? So what was that particular show? So it is 12th. It was 12th uh, Aero India International Show, whose slogan is the celebrating women in aviation. Right. So I think it was a ticket which was released in the honor of this Aero India International show. Right. So what basically this is, right? So in the 12th edition of Aero India, uh, which had uh, which had held from 20th February to 24th of February 2019, right, at Bangalore. Now, if you consider the theme of the event, as I said, was the runaway to a billion opportunities, right? And in this particular case, you can consider. So what you can see there? Do you see the Tejas? Right, the logo of the exhibition was inspired by Tejas, right, which is nothing but a light combat aircraft, right? So you can see back, though you can see some other aircrafts at the back, but you will be always having this particular kind, right? So basically, what is the purpose of this kind of operation? Right? So Aero India is, as I said, a biennial year show and aviation exhibition, right? Uh, which you can consider. Fine. So it is always organized by Defense Exhibition Organization, Ministry of Defense, right? Which you can consider. So from where it is being started, that would be the question, right? So someone might be having this particular question. So most recent you had that in 2019, but when did it start? So it started in 1996. It started in 1996, and till 2011, right? If you consider the attendees, so around 3 lakh attendees have been attended this particular Aero show till 2011, right? And what kind of activities they are showing in this Aero show, right? So Aero India International Show, the activities are static displays as well as some aerobatics, right? Aerobatics. You must have heard about the word aerobatics, right? And as I said, it is always organized by the Defense Ministry of India, right? Particularly Indian Air Force and DRDO, right? Sometimes the Department of Space is also helping out in carrying out this particular, and again the commercial aviation, that is of Union Civil Aviation Ministry, right? So DRDO, ISRO, IAF, right, Ministry of Defense, and Union Civil Aviation Ministry, right, always are the supporting factors or are the helping hands of organization of the Aero India International Show, right? So jointly all these come together and have. So in this particular case, you can have the year shows, right? In this particular, you will be having different kinds of exhibitions. Fine. This would be the case you can consider it. Right. So very first edition was in 2006, 1996, and as it is biennial, next was on 1998. Right. That would be the case you can consider it. Right. I think mostly this is at Bangalore. Right. Always keep in mind, if you want to write it down, you can write at Bangalore. Particularly, the place of the name is Yelahanka, right? Yalhahanka, Yelahanka, outskirts of Bangalore, right? So mostly it is always being organized at that particular place. You can consider. Fine. Now, in this particular case, if you consider the participations from companies in this Aero show. So not only, as I said, not only from India, but also some foreign companies are taking part in this exhibition, right? So this is not only exhibition by Indian Air Force, right, or some of these, right? Anyway, here we are seeing it through the point of view of its security, right? So security of this show was looked after by 4 times by Garudas. So Garudas have contributed in the security of this year showing 2002, 2007, 2011, and 2013, right? So this you can consider as one of the uh, activities, or basically one of the responsibilities, right, of Garudas. Apart from these, some more operations, Kashmir conflict, right? So what do you uh, consider in the Kashmir conflict, right? Anybody who is having some idea about the Kashmir conflict? Anyway, so whenever you consider Kashmir conflict, right, you know it is about POK, fine. So Pakistan is always having a kind of thing. So there you will be finding out uh, the issues every other day, right, related to it. Now, as far as Kashmir conflict is concerned, it is a territorial conflict, right? Basically, it is a territorial conflict over the Kashmir region, right? And this Kashmir conflict is primarily in between India and Pakistan, right? You know, again, China is playing a third party role in this particular case. China is always stimulating Pakistan to get, right, to get wake up on Kashmir conflict and try to push hard on India. Right? So this is the particular case what you can consider. And this conflict got started after partition of India, right, from 1947. Now, in this particular case, if you consider the dispute, right, so that dispute is over the region that escalated into three different wars between India and Pakistan, right, and several other armed skirmishes, right, सारखं काही ना काही झटपट चालूच असते, right. Still, the issues or the regions are there, and that altogether is known as the Kashmir conflict, right. So the case you can consider in, fine. So you know India is having a control around 55% of Kashmir, Kashmir Valley, Jammu, Ladakh, right, and Siachen Glacier, right. So some part is obviously towards that side, right. Around you can consider approximately 30% of the land area, which includes Kashmir, Gilgit Baltistan, or particularly they called it as Azad Kashmir, right. So is towards that particular country, right? Basically the Kashmir, which you can consider. So we had Indo-Pakistan War of 1965, Indo-Pakistan War of 1971. We had Shimla Agreement, right? We had line of control. Still, we have always these kinds of. So we have Kargil War. We have some other agreements, right? Still, these are the issues which are always there, right? Now, very recently Pulwama attack, if you consider that, again that is the part of the Kashmir conflict, you can consider it, fine. So that would be the case you can consider, right? So taking part, so the service by Garudas had also given to the Kashmir conflict. The next one you can consider is insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir, by and large same kind of thing, right? So insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir. So what you should understand from insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir. So insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir, which is always known as Kashmiri insurgency or Kashmir Intifada, INTIFADA, right? Kashmir Intifada. So it is nothing but uprising or revolt against the Indian administration of Jammu and Kashmir by the region constituting the southern portion of the larger Kashmir region. Right? For example, you know, a year before, some of the citizens have thrown the stones to our security personnel, right? So It is against the administration of Jammu and Kashmir. Right. So this is dispute which you can consider as insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir. Fine. So this had been a subject of dispute between India and Pakistan again from 1947, right, which you can consider. Fine. So that is the case we can always consider. Again, in this insurgency, the Garuda commandos are having their contribution, or they are serving in this particular case. Fine. So these are the some of the operations which you can consider, right, about Garudas. But what you will be keeping in mind, so your task here, or your foremost aim, right, about remembering Garuda is their prime duty, or prime and foremost duty to secure the air bases, right, and your fields in India. Fine. So that is the case you can consider it. Fine. Now let's go to the last special force, right, largest special force, right, which we can consider having so many different what we can consider a huge number and so many different troops, right? That is para special forces, right? Para special forces. Now, recently the para special forces have got uh, first time, right? First time, by and large, I will now consider the honor to get uh, marked at Rajpath, right? So this is the photograph of Pyara's contingent at Rajpath uh, on the occasion of the Republic Day, right, of January 2020, right, very recent, right, before few days before lockdown, if you consider, this glory had been happened, right, and that this is the first ever chance you can consider in, right, this particular uh, what you can consider a troop, right, para. Here again you can consider, right, this is again one of the photos which had been have of the para. So this is another company or another division of para. There are so many different divisions of para. So one more photo you will be seeing out, right? Though basically all are called para, but they are having different names, right? Purposefully I have kept them, right? So just see carefully what you can see here, and again go back and see this particular. I think anyway you can see some of the differences here, right? Fine. And the next one, the most glorious part you can consider is this one. Fine. So what you can consider, when I will show you I hope you all are able to see it. Right? I don't know. I have shared it through different ways. So someone can let me know whether you are seeing it or not. Anyone?
So visible. It's visible.
Okay, that's fine. So
Sir,
let's
press
continue.
F5, sir.
Yes, yes.
Shift plus F5, sorry.
Basically, all these are paras, but still you can have different things, right? Why it is that you have to see, right? So what paras are commonly known? So commonly known para ASEPs, right? Uh, that is special forces, right? Para special forces known as para ASEP. So it is nothing but the special operations unit of Indian Army, right? Which is attached to the parachute regiment. They have separate regiment, right? Which is called parachute regiment. Right? Even Air Force is also trying to set up a new regiment for their for the Garuda. Right? Once they reach a minimum required number of Garudas, right? So they have planned recently after 2016's Pathankot attack. Now they have decided to go for the recruitment of more than 800 new Garudas, right? So that they will cross their total strength of 2000, right? So obviously they will be at that time having a special regiment, but they are also looking or thinking to have a special regiment, right? Now, already army is having a special regiment for paras, right? That is called parachute regiment. So everyone is belonging to this parachute regiment. Even MS Dhoni is belonging to this particular regiment, right? So which is importing from any kind of regiment, right? Those who wanted to become para, they can join from any of the regiment, right? Fine. Now the background, right? So it was uh, there were discussions, rather we had a need at the time of 1965 Indo-Pakistan war, right? So at that time we had a battalion or a group, right? uh, that group had actually done a special kind of perform special kind of functions, right? And under the leadership of Major Meg Singh, right? Then he was Meg Singh, and then later on, it was decided to have a special group. So that special group was get converted into battalion, and which was also known as commando, right? Of the parachute regiment, and actually it was established in 1966, right? Basically in the month of July, in the same month, right? I think at the beginning of this month they had their anniversary, right? So 1966 under the Lieutenant Colonel Mike Singh. So Mike Singh was the first one you can consider in this particular case, right? So this parachute regiment was parachute regiment is presently having 9 different special uh, forces, uh, right? Or you can consider the what I can tell you companies or different kinds of, right, which are called 5 are airborne, 2 are territorial army, and 1 is as the counter insurgency, which are called as Rashtriya Rifles battalions. Right. So these are some of the groups you can consider in. Don't worry about this one. So I know the whole interest will be the next one in the next case, that how would you be becoming the paras. So its headquarters is at Bangalore cantonment at Bangalore, right? They are known as main apart, or another name is every man an emperor, right? Main apart or every man an emperor. So their motto is Shatrujit. At any cost, you have to be the conqueror, right? You know, Alexander wanted to be the world conquest, world's, right? Sikandar, right? You can consider in. So world conquest. Likewise, Paras are having their motto, the conqueror, right? Shatrujit, wherever you are, you have to be converted into victory, right? And